That's the whole tragic point, my friends. What would I do if I could suddenly leave and to know once again what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel?
Testing one, two, three. Testing. Should be down there. Testing. Testing. One, two, three. One, two, three. Testing. I'm on now. Testing. Testing. One, two, three. Testing. Testing. One, two. I'm trying to find how far. I ain't hit it to go live yet on YouTube. Streaming, but I ain't. I mean on and I'm waiting for my daughter here. So got me. Testing one, two, one, two. In the place to be. DMC. Holla, holla, holla. Yay!
pick up camp and move out to Phoenix. What the hell she gonna keep her eye on her son? He's 22 years old.
But that's the whole tragic point, my friends. What would I do if I could suddenly and to know once again that what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could
big events. One of the things that kicked off this week, past Thursday, was the NBA draft.
Yes.
Interesting NBA draft, and the Sixers were tied into it as usual over the last few weeks with Colangelo and everything that's been going on, Twittergate, and the five bogus burner accounts and all that kind of stuff with the Sixers.
If we didn't have burner accounts and they just stuck to writing notes, none of this would have happened.
PR, man, the PR. You got to get somebody out there to do your own PR. Back in the day, you had a reporter to take care of you to get you, what you wanted out there. But now, people try to go on their own and try to put the spin. It's like spin gate, out here. Interesting. The NBA draft took place. Draft picks. A lot of young cats. Not a lot of 3 or 4 year players are there anymore, except for the one kid from Villanova, Mikal Bridges. We'll get into that, his story. But my take on the draft was these kids that are coming out today are very polished. From watching the draft, the kids have a sense that this is about a business. And we had a discussion last time where we were talking about the AAU with Andre and your investment and this, and the investment that people put in to the finish line. And this is what it seems about.
This is the culmination of it. These guys, they all played on the AAU team together. They did the circuit. They've been around media. They have their own, and I think technology's done a lot because a lot of these kids do their own hype videos throughout their, starting at 8th, 9th grade. So they're ready. They're already acclimated to talking to the camera, selling themselves, and being polished and trying to do the right thing. And it's a business. They see how it was done before, and they just keep emulating and doing it a little better.
Yeah, and I think we had a talk before, and I think Calipari talked about that when he was doing the one and done at Kentucky and the stigma on it. Now you have Duke doing it. You Mike Krzyzewski, big time players. There seems to be a stigma on the one and done kid. These kids aren't ready. They're young kids. They're not coming from means. They're getting a lot of money thrown at them. And they're immature. And this is a recipe for disaster. Coming up. But now, for me, watching this NBA draft and how these kids handle themselves and their family background, that doesn't seem the case anymore. These were upper middle class. A lot of kids, families.
They had options. It wasn't like if they didn't make it in basketball, they could make it in school. Something else. So.
I forget the one kid, he had a chance to go to Harvard or Duke, but took Duke. A lot of players, sons of players who play overseas and play in the league. Yeah. Definitely they did 12 years in the league, or their mother played. Definitely.
What I see is basically the generation that our generation are a little younger than us at this point.
Yeah.
We went to college. We got a chance to do things, and our kids have those opportunities. They're not coming from dire streets. They might have, but they've been exposed to different things. So the one and done thing is not like, oh, I got to take care of my family. No, I want to get, that Lamborghini. That's
I want to start the process early. I want to make sure I have a three times at a contract renegotiation while I'm still in my prime years.
Right.
I mean, and that's exactly. And I think a lot of it. Some people say it takes away from the draft, and there's been a lot of talk on. Well, we're trying to build super teams. You have to make a move in free agency, which is true. But if you look at the Golden State Warriors, their 73-win team had draft picks on it. Right. They made Steph, Clay, priorities in the draft, and they built their roster. Draymond, second-round pick, great second-round pick. They built their roster through the draft, coaching, and the right type of players. The right type of players that mix and can, play together. The advent of, and you have to be developed and get fortunate. Steph Curry developed into a generational type player.
Yeah,
a shooter.
When he started off, they didn't think he would make it through the first year because his ankles and knees.
And he became a generational type player, shooting the three, transforming how the game's played, the way kids want to play the game. And Draymond being able to defend all the positions and run point from you from a big player.
I could do without Draymond, but he's.
But we talked about Draymond, but Draymond is this generation's ML Carr with more talent. You need that on the team. There's always one guy on your team that if he wasn't on your team,
that's him.
But if he's on your team, Yeah, like that's the guy one of my one of my team, and I think Draymond. So I still think that the NBA and the draft is still important. The thing is, with players coming out so young, you're gonna have to develop them, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have to wait to see what they are before you give them another shot or another contract.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, and as we say, we're in a microwave society. We're looking for instant gratification.
guess
That
so,
was the
yeah.
whole thing about the process, the long wait, trying to develop and get better with the process. Now, the Sixers are close. And just talking about the Sixers, they made a move, and we had talked about in the back that these draft picks are all the same. Like this draft pick arose from 2015 deal
Yeah.
that circled around and turned around, and end up basically getting a pick. That they sent away, maybe
Yeah.
about 3 years ago.
So they're basically getting two first round picks that they gave away back in 2015 back.
And it's hilarious how how that happens. But the Sixers on draft night, Brown took over. He's acting general manager and head coach. And I think everybody said, well, he'll probably stay put because he's not a GM or whatever. But they made a move. It was interesting because they drafted Zaire. And Zaire is the typical Sixer guy. He's a tremendous athlete, from everybody says.
Yeah.
Not the best shooter in the world, but they say he is a Leonard, a quality Leonard, that guy that they can develop into a player that they want. But it seems like this team needs shooters.
They do need shooters. I think I mean, you can't believe the hype videos, but I
Yeah.
actually went back. Actually, last night I was up late. I went back and watched a couple full games of Shemet and Zaire,
Okay.
just to see them in
Wichita
game.
State.
Yeah, just to see them in a full game.
Yeah.
And the broken jump shot I don't see with Zaire. I don't think he's like Mr. Clutch automatic yet,
Yeah.
but he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, his ability is how he transitioned. He has the measurables. He's an athlete. And one thing that the Sixers definitely were athletic enough against Boston
No.
to be able to guard Boston's ball handlers and stop them from getting where they wanted to go on the court. We couldn't outsize them. That was one of the big advantages they had. We couldn't beat them with their size. They definitely attacked us off the ball, being able to go to the hoop and create things. And Zaire, as a defensive player, playing against Boston and matching up, that I think will be advantageous.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think also that you got to look who's in your division. Boston looking to get a center. Why? Because of the big man in B.
Right.
They're looking at somebody that can defend him or just try to defend him 1-on-1. Not you have to double and open up shooters.
Everything else,
Going out. So it's a chess match. Definitely moving in, and I think the 21st, the 2021st, the first pick they got in 21. I think that's going to be part of a package. Maybe trying to get an individual, a Leonard from the Spurs. But for all intensive purposes, that it looks like Leonard wants to be in LA.
Yeah, but I would like to be in LA.
We all like to be in LA.
But he's under contract,
Yeah.
so he's gonna have to bide his time, and
Maybe I think Brown is interested in him because of his ties to the Spurs, being an assistant coach,
Right.
winning with them. And I think he took Zaire Smith because he sees him as a Leonard type of player that he can develop. In that mold, in that scheme of what they try to do in San Antonio. Going forward, I don't know if Leonard may be the move for the Sixers because if he's entitled of not resigning in 2019. It seems like Leonard is trying to force people's hands into making him go to the Lakers.
well, one of the things you could do, I mean, with the relationship Brown has with Leonard, or the one I perceive he has with him, even if we get him for 1 year,
Yeah.
you can set up a sign and trade and get assets back as long
Yeah.
as you don't give up the farm to get him.
Yeah.
So that's another option.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of optionality, as Hinkie would say,
Yeah.
because you have the picks,
Yeah.
and you have some other resources. I wouldn't want to see Mikael moved, even though we haven't seen much of him, and I wouldn't want to see Zaire move because I think those two on the court would be dynamic.
Well, here's the interesting part, and I think, and everybody talks about Boston has the assets because you've actually seen their assets actually play. So, moving forward with the Fultz, is the man that went in Fultz no longer in the Sixers organization, which is Colangelo.
Right.
We'll talk. Well, I knew that was coming. Once you leave the organization, everything that went wrong is going to be put on
And
you.
if it
Did it not. And, we all been in meetings where you sit around. I've been in meetings like, well, who's not here today? Okay. Maintenance not here today? Well, that's maintenance. Same thing when I'm not there. Who's not here today? Technology's not here? Oh, that was technology. Like, we've all been in those meetings and seen that happen. So moving forward, Colangelo's going to get anything that went wrong. It's going to be on Colangelo. So the truth was that the organization wanted Tatum. Which I mean, it's stuff that comes out. It's very self-serving. But Colangelo said, "Nah, we forced your hand. We're taking Fultz. That's my guy." After Fultz didn't have a great workout. But now I'm thinking, is Fultz a Colangelo guy who's not there anymore? So they're not totally sold on him in the organization. Could that be an issue? Moving forward.
It could be, and it very might. I mean, for example, when I went to school, my whole coaching staff was gone. They tried to recruit over me from day one, so that was my battle. Yeah. But I wasn't giving up the money, so recruit on. So
exactly.
So with Fultz, I mean, I saw him play. I know he can play. I saw him play against Tatum, and he played well against Tatum in the summer league.
Yeah.
So I know that the guy has talent. It's just a matter of if he's going to be in the cards for the Sixers. I kind of feel it's kind of like I feel some kind of way because he's part of the process, and I want to see him succeed.
Yeah.
But just like the draft night pick, Brown ain't taking no prisoners.
Yeah.
If it ain't working, it ain't growing the program.
The program. Yeah, we gotta make a move. And let's talk about that for a quick second. Mikal Bridges, his mother, who works for in the Sixers organization. She works for Harris. So there, she's global vice president of HR.
And her check still cashes a day.
Yeah, okay. Just still cashes no matter what happens. How salty she is, I think she might have called out. I don't know.
I think everybody wanted her to
call out. Yeah. Behind it. The story, local kid, Great Valley. I seen him in high school. Play in high school. Went to local school, Villanova, redshirted 3 years. 2-time national champion in Villanova. Now gets to get his dream to come play, for a local team, the 76ers on the rise. So it's just a great story. They do the interview. Her mother's like, he's with the family. Go Sixers.
Trump on you here. I'm blaming the media. They were too eager to get that story out.
Yeah.
And it was things happening the whole time.
And I was wondering why. I said, well, people don't want to tip their hand. Like you can't tip your hand because it's clearly obvious that trade was based on whether Zaire Smith was right there at 16.
Right.
If Zaire Smith is not there at 16, the Wizards take him. We have Mikal. Happy.
Yeah. There'll be a backstory we hear about. Yeah, they were going to trade. They were going to trade him.
They were going to trade him. They were going to trade him, but it didn't work through. And sometimes it doesn't work through. But at the same time, it's a business.
Yeah.
At the same time, like you stated, his mother is in HR.
She said box it up.
Yeah, box it up. She's had people escorted out of the building. I'm pretty sure. When you come like, my login don't work.
I need to see you.
I've been. You get the call. On that Thursday, turn off such and such all credentials. And so they get that meeting on Friday, with the box, and they escort you out the building. So it's still a business. I mean, it was. I can't say
Well, see, they did him a favor because it's no guarantee that anybody else behind them was going to pick him up.
Yeah.
You know, so they slided him at 10, at top, yeah, pay 10, and they got an asset. And he woke up, like I said, his mother's check cash. He woke up, he still was a 10th pick of the draft.
Arizona.
Yeah.
So we got a young team, a young thing going on out there.
And he pretty much has what we have here. They have a center that supposedly, well, our center is good. Their center, we'll see. They have the guards. You know, so he's stepping into a good situation. It's not like he's going to Drake.
Yeah, it's not like he's going to like the organization like the Clippers were 20 years ago. Like, oh my God, I'm with the Clippers. Or you in the NFL, you going to the, oh my God, I'm going to the Browns. Like whatever. He's still going to be in a situation where he can flourish and do well. You know,
No.
yeah, I think it was like I think a lot of it.
And I'll probably say something now that's unpopular. I was a little worried because it was too perfect of a story. I'm a little leery. I know he did well. He made himself in a great player, put himself in a position to get drafted 10th. But I was worried with that we would have somebody like, remember when Derek Coleman came to the Sixers?
Mm-hmm.
He was still good.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the Derek Coleman we saw when he was in college.
He's definitely a glue. He's definitely. They were saying he's a glue guy. I mean, he's spot up shooting three, not as good as Klay Thompson, but he looked like the guy that's going to cover tough covers on the other end and spot off of Ben's penetration and drive and be posted up. He would be at the 3-point line and nail shots. That's where he fits in.
Yeah, but I did the same thing with him. I watched his highlights, and then I watched the full game where he, was dominated. And I still saw little lapses of not being the most athletic person. Being fluid, but just not being as athletic. So that worried me.
And I think athleticism is something that Sixers need, but you also need ball players. And then some people just can play ball. They're ballers.
Yeah, that's true.
And just look. If you got down here and did a measurables test, I wouldn't give it. But just put me on the court. Yeah, I'm gonna do work. Definitely. We're gonna take a break. Come back. WZTO, Zero Time Off, Entertainment. Getting back, we're talking a little bit about the NBA, the draft, and the direction. And one name we didn't mention, that's always mentioned all year round, is Mr. James.
I thought he was the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. A lot of talk, a lot of decision three, a lot of speculation. What's your thoughts? A lot of people say I'd rather not have him on the Sixers because he would be a distraction, or him and Ben can't play together. You know, if LeBron James wanted to be a Philadelphia Sixer, would you be for that?
I'll pick him up from the airport. I have no problems. If anybody on our team cannot play with LeBron James, they can't play basketball.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be the problem.
Yeah.
That's the least of our problems, having the best player on the planet on your team.
Yeah, I think if you give me the best player on the planet, and I have to figure out how to use him best to do what.
Yeah, but he's one of the easier players to play with. He passes the rock.
Yeah. And people were saying, well, Ben is not a shooter. LeBron will pass to Ben, and then Ben won't be able to hit shots. But I'm saying LeBron at that point now, he's not trying to run the point like that anymore. He's trying to be a forward. Let some young kid bring the ball up 82 times a game. Then when we get in the postseason, I'll do my work. I would say it'll be quasi like the dream. Like I'll do my point forward, like point center, like you post elbow, baseline, or drive hard when I need one. But let these young kids, bring this ball up and down the court.
He would be the closer. Here's 6 minutes left in the game. All right, here's the rock. You go.
You get open. And I'm going. I'm gonna hit you with a pinpoint pass and then knock down a three, or go to the lane and score.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
It's easy to play with him.
Yeah.
The only thing with LeBron is nothing else the Sixers organization can do to entice him. He would just have to want to be here and have to fit his family. He doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it to really pad his legacy.
Yeah, his legacy is his legacy. So
But we do have the 2021 pick, and that'll be the same year his son is out. We we give him an opportunity to play with little Brian Brown.
That could be an opportunity. Yeah, definitely. That would be tremendous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable. Play that alone and play with your son.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. We're going to jump into the NFL. A couple things in the NFL that happened.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl, right?
Defending world champions. The defending world champions. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 52 champions.
Yeah.
They are
most exciting Super Bowl ever.
One of the greatest Super Bowls ever played. Definitely had you on the edge of your seats with the final playing against those New England Patriots. And speaking of Eagles and Cowboys, everybody knows affiliation. Player that played for both teams, Terrell Owens.
Oh, T.O.
T.O. back in the news like he's always tried to be in the news. T.O. says, look, I'm not going to the Hall of Fame induction. In typical T.O. mode. He's just with everybody. And my take on it is this. The Hall of Fame induction, it's your induction, but it's not about you. It's always an opportunity to, give thanks to those people who helped you get there along the way, whether it be coaches, father, family. Somebody had to help you get, where you are. Like if you want to be the NFL, Hall of Fame running back, I'm pretty sure you would mention me and my blocking for you.
I would start the speech out with that.
And it make me feel good that I contributed to that, and that'll always be on tape. But it's been a lot of talk back and forth on it. He felt he should have been in first ballot. A lot of people weren't the first ballot Hall of Famers. But it goes back to what I said about T.O., and it goes back to what I say about talent and championships. Just because you're talented, just because you're a great, talented player, T.O. still ran a 4.4 the other day, trying to go to Canadian Football League. But that doesn't mean you can be a part of a championship team. Because the thing I always notice about T.O., when things are going well, he's great. He's getting the ball and scoring. But in every season, things aren't going to go great. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be trials and tribulations.
Yep.
And how you come together as a team, or how you become a championship. Case in point, Eagles, 4 injuries. This year, key players down, still playing next man up mentality, and you win. And you can put up a lot of stats. You can put up a lot of stats to get you to the Hall of Fame, but you're not a key component about which the bottom line is, which is winning.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about T.O., supremely talented, but he was always a team of one.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
yeah,
And this is typical T.O. fashion. I would expect nothing less than him having his own celebration because he didn't get it how he wanted it.
yeah,
He didn't get the ball last time, so he ain't gonna run his route this time.
Good.
This is the same thing. Is an extension of the type of player he was. He was a great player, like you said, when everything was going right. But as soon as the quarterback didn't see him when he was open, it was a problem. The other thing with T.O. is if you saw how his retirement went, there's a whole lot of stuff, baggage he got going on.
yeah,
And this is how he protects himself. He's not going to go up there to be vulnerable to somebody who rejected him, so he's going to do his own thing.
yeah. And I think an interesting part about it, I think I heard Shannon Sharp talk like T.O. remembers everybody who he perceives or perceives did him wrong and never let you forget about it. Like he's like, yeah. So he said the writers did me wrong, the people did me wrong. But it validates basically what they've been saying. Like this is why because you are like you didn't want to. This is the greatest football team of all time. They're going into the Hall of Fame. You don't want to be a part of this group of guys. These are all. This is for life. This is like your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. Go always point. Terrell Owens, HOF, Hall of Famer, and you can go like let bygones be bygones, and and go to the Hall of Fame and do a speech, and just take the acceptance. It doesn't have to be great or long or whatever. Thank you, whatever, 5-6 minutes, and thank the people. I think like his grandmother who raised him, and Shannon Sharp said that gave him opportunity to thank his grandma, whatever, even though she had passed, but just to thank those people that helped you. But I just think it's a classic example. If anybody's out there and we talk about team sports and we talk about playing sports and coming together and getting a goal, I mean, we play team sports all our life. Is it builds the character for other you to come together and accomplish a goal. And we talk about, a lot of talk about now is collaborative learning in school districts, and nothing is more collaborative than being part of a team and playing your role and helping out, to a common good and a common cause. And I just think it's a shame because great talent, it was great talent, but as far as a person that you're going to win with, to win the ultimate goal with, it'd be very difficult because when the tough gets going, he's going to go off. You know what I mean? Like
he's gonna disrupt
and
whatever. He's not gonna be pulling the same way as the team.
Yeah, and it just especially if it's not the ball's not going down.
Yeah.
Like, we lost 6 touchdowns.
I didn't lose.
Remember the commercial Leon? Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, what Leon to do?
Yeah,
Leon can't do it all.
They should bring that one back.
yeah. Those fumbles, you mean somebody couldn't recover them?
Leon got to recover the fumbles too.
So I mean, like, but that's just, I just is typical T.O. I mean, that's just Terrell Owens. But I think it's a lesson in there for sports is about, hey, the ultimate goal is to win. I mean, for some players. The ultimate goal is to win. We won the championship, and what do you have to do to get there to do the championship? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'm just curious to see how this all plays out because he's having his own celebration.
Yeah.
And what kind of shenanigans? Because at the end of the day, like you said, this is for your grandkids and the people that come after. When they go to the Hall of Fame and they see the bus and they push that button to hear his speech, and it's gonna be like. Nothing.
Yeah. What did he say? Like,
what was he about?
The video of it. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no video there. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't show up. But a lot of things affect you, your childhood that he came up with. Just like he just never got over it, and then it's hard to develop and move on. But this is unfortunate. We want to talk a little bit about Jameis Winston.
Mr. Crablegs.
Mr. Crablegs. Jameis Winston. Looks like to be the next big time players suspended. A la like Zeke last time was suspended. Zeke was last year never convicted of anything, but went through. They said player personnel, and the league said one of the used to work for New York PD said didn't say hey he shouldn't be suspended. I don't think this thing, but they still suspended him.
Yeah, same person is doing the investigation.
Yeah. Jameis Winston was in a car. Uber picked him up. There's been a lot of different things going back and forth. How many people in the car? Was it Uber before, Uber after? Which Uber they talking about? Darby from Eagles said, "Nah, he's a player from Florida State. Go sign with him." The person's never pressed charges. There's never been any charges brought.
Just
allegations. No charges. I don't think she pressed charges yet. The lady they referred to as Kate. She just has a lawyer, whatever. But no charges have been lodged. But they're going to suspend Jameson. The talk of rumors 3 games for not reporting this. Like if you get in trouble, or if your allegation against you, you have to let the league know that you have something going on. I guess they don't want to be blindsided by PR.
The NFL Players Association is cool with the suspension, or they haven't even. I haven't been hearing
anything about
Is that a rule that he didn't follow? It's like because just for example, the guys that be getting the DUI, they have a service that's paid for by the
league. Exactly. You have a blade that no matter where you are,
and this might have been that service.
We got an Uber. We don't keep anybody on call, but we'll pay for your Uber. Like you put your Uber receipts in, and you're good.
So you don't get a DUI.
Well, the charges he fondled a lady, and he was in the front seat. Going to a home from a club in where they were out Arizona, I think Phoenix, Arizona. So that was the charge brought against him. I can't really say charge, but that's the allegation. Because no charges have been filed at all. So when you're not, hey CJ, how you doing? Enjoying yourself? My son CJ came down the hallway and joined us today. Like there's nothing that has been, no conviction and no charges. I mean, you go back to Ben Roethlisberger. They're saying that the way you conducted yourself.
Yeah, but he paid everybody off.
Detrimental to the league, and we talk about it, and that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Like in these cases,
did he ever get suspended?
He got suspended. He got like 5 games, 4 or 5 games.
Okay.
Yeah, he got Roethlisberger got suspended 4 or 5 games, and the talk was, well, you never convicted of anything. The same way with Zeke. Zeke was never convicted of anything. He got suspended. So it's clearly they're saying, look, your conduct, whether it ends up in charges or not, if you don't report it and we deem it as detrimental to the league, we can suspend you. So I haven't heard anything about the Players Association because he may have not reported it. Like and that's just de facto. If we have this in our bylaws, like, look, if anybody makes an allegation against you, we need to know in a timely fashion, so we can handle and investigate.
Well, the other thing with this is it's in his best interest if it's only 3 games to take those 3 games and don't appeal because his contract kicks in next year. Yeah. He's only making $700,000 this year. Next year he makes $20 million. Yeah. So 3 games next year is gonna cost you a whole lot money.
Take it down and start. Advantageous to your Philadelphia Eagles because they play them in the second game of the season.
Yeah, it is advantageous to us, and he gave us fits the last time.
but definitely, but it's a thing where people and when what you negotiate, and it'll probably be something that will be renegotiated. I think in the next collective bargaining agreement. The players, or I think from the players' perspective, are saying, "Hey, if anybody makes an allegation against us, and you go through our, system where we have law enforcement that says, hey, nothing here that we can't, well, maybe not charge, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Right. There's no credible way to prove this, and we feel we could take it. A DA feels we can't take it. We've done an interview because when law enforcement talk to you, or you are under penalty. Like obstruction of justice, but when a league talks to you, like you can say anything. It's it's nothing.
Freaky deaky, wasn't me.
And with the plaintiffs too, like they're free to say anything to an NFL investigator. It's different than the conversation you're going to have.
But this puts let's put these guys on notice though that they're gonna lose money if they if they put themselves in precarious.
You don't have to. At one point,
I said I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I know that some situations you don't put yourself in, you just end up in.
Yeah.
And some of them, you put
yourself into it.
Yeah, but
well, I think one of the guys in the car, which they're the Jameson campus,
he wasn't in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a guy from Vanderbilt who's serving time. Remember the guy from Vanderbilt who's serving time for the aggravated assault rape on the girl,
yeah,
which the Stanford guy got 3 weeks for. The same thing. Everybody put their parallel. That was the. You might not want to be hanging around. you might, and they're trying to say he was in the front seat. That's been the whole talk. His people say, no, it wasn't us in the front seat. I was in the front seat going to the club, but not in the front seat coming back from the club. So you might, and at the time no one knew, but whatever. You get convicted, but he was on trial. I mean, it's certain, your situation. You put yourself around people that it's a lesson to learn. You try to put yourself in your core group of individuals that are doing it in some direction.
But we had a classic example here. A beloved son of the city could never get rid of his posse. AI.
Yeah.
Everybody should look at that as a case study of what not to do.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah. I had a brief AI story. We're leaving Blue Zets. It was a spot down in Old City where everybody would hang out. It was one of the nights. Me and my cousin Dave were there. Westbrook's there. Boxers are there. Philadelphia Eagles are in there. Sixers just played the Wizards. The Wizards and Sixers in there. Having a good time, whatever. The let out happens. Closes at 2. They got the Bentley parked right out front. So all the other clubs are releasing at the same time. So a drunk patron from another club bumps into the car. Bentley, hey, watch the Bentley. He's like, oh, the hell, this Bentley, yada, yada. Irison's crew raise up. They're very angry, because they've been disrespected. And we're looking about to hop on this guy. I intervene and say, look, there's no damage to this $300,000 car that you guys are driving in. The man's obviously drunk. All you're going to do is beat him up and make him a millionaire. Let it go. Let's go home. Oh, you right over here. You right. Just let it go. Whatever. So I even did my part to try to keep this thing out of either way it was. I mean, that's a true story. I'm like, but like,
AI, where's my man's check? He saved you $1 million. At least give him 10%.
Like, yeah. So I was like, really, like nothing. I'm going. Obviously, you're getting in a $300,000 car, and the beautiful women see you in a $300 car. They're like, but you're gonna take the time and hop on this drunk dude like with no apparent reason. Doesn't make any sense. Like it's totally. But yeah, that's what happens. Like, and I say that all the time, and I talk to my daughter and stuff. I said when you surround yourself, with people like I was going to school, people in the service, whatever you're working, whatever you do. Now as we get older, you start connections and make with people. That person's a principal, that person's a superintendent, that person's regional director this, regional that, me and you, the IT, connections, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are what you try to do. You try to put yourself in the right surroundings from the beginning. And you just got to cut people off.
Yeah, because, I remember, I had to cut people off. I had to change my directions the way I went home sometimes because I didn't want to see people.
but there's nothing wrong with that. You got to understand that, people who have the best for you, they know. Like, and that's what old heads used to say all the time. Like, you watch The Wire with Bump. And he's talking like this. They say, man, you a school kid. Man, you get off this corner with us acting a fool,
For me, it was Chatty.
Yeah.
He used to see me in the neighborhood and just pull me to the side and be like, yo, what you doing?
Yeah. He cuts my hair. Carl, yeah. We have conversations all the time. Shout out to Chatty. But yeah, like those guys, Chatty going to Del State, quarterback Academy Park, first one undefeated season. And but that's the kind of lessons and advice older people would give you, your peers would give you, like, hey, look, we're trying to do something here. You going in the wrong direction, son. Some other people, he wouldn't have said that to you if he didn't know who you were and what your abilities were. Because sometimes you look at somebody and be like, well, shoot, ain't no
Have fun.
Yo, definitely, there's no change in that.
Everybody as good as it gets, my brother.
Do you? And I think that, but at one time you have to be, good with your situation and the people you put around, and even like family. You gotta be able to say no with no explanation.
Right. So how do you think this is going to turn out for him? Because this is the second incident where he had bad judgment and put himself in a situation where he's costing himself money.
I don't know. I think the one position you really can't have any flex in is your quarterback. It's too important a position. It's almost like man, you can't, like, we talk about talent and talk about team. Like, it's not only about what you do on the field; it's what you do off the field.
Right.
And you part of it. The quarterback is really an extension of management in the NFL. You're the face of the franchise. You are what most endorsements. This is our quarterback. When they have engagement or UNICEF or whatever they work with, whatever the owner's wife is trying to do in the community, bring your quarterback with you. The quarterback is the face, the team.
You saw Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Now he plays the role.
Yeah.
He's in that state. He's the captain in there, and they
he
love
live with
him.
and he talks.
But it's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And,
it's
maybe they should have a rule with him. Nothing after 11 o'clock.
Yeah. There's something. My grandpa used to say, anything open after 2, I'll leave that alone. After 2 o'clock. But, it's trouble. You know what I mean? Like, you just, some guys, they just, it's going to be trouble not to stay in the house. It's nothing out there. But it's hard because you're all young. You're young, you got money in your pocket, whatever.
Yeah.
We were young, still broke, trying to go out. You know what I mean? Now you got millions. I want to go out and enjoy myself as you. But you don't have to put yourself. You can enjoy yourself in this day and age and not put yourself in precarious situations.
Yeah. Especially the money they playing with.
And Jim Kelly had a club in his house. Players came there in Buffalo. After that, just hung out. No problem. Like definitely do their thing. So, those are the type of things you could do. The Cowboys even had, their own house, whatever. Everything was positive about that. That's a whole other story. But definitely, you could definitely do things differently. Like, and with the expectations, everything you got going on, you definitely want to make sure that you are in shape, your physical, but your financial and your off the field situation. It's 24/7.
Yeah, you gotta keep your brain.
And this is the day of video. You're on 24/7. Everybody has a phone. Like
everybody has what they call a studio, a TV studio in their hand. Yeah.
Like, so you on 24/7. The stuff you could do, the players did back in the day and stuff like that, you can't do anymore. Everybody has the camera. And Charles Thompson coaches Chester Panthers. We talk about social media all the time, what you post. Definitely, you look at Brian Colangelo. He tried to use social media, got caught up in it.
No, that was his wife, man.
Yeah, his wife. His wife in his house for 2 years was using social media without any knowledge of him and posting inside information.
Well,
but yeah,
I think she fell on the sword for him and his dad. I think she just took it. And everybody talking about divorce. I'm like, man, you know how much that's gonna cost him after the fact?
After the fact, did she go
tell the
public?
tapes.
I got the tapes right here. Like, and she's public relations, so that's her thing. So yeah, definitely. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back with a third segment. We're gonna get Steve's sons on, talk about swimming.
Aaron and Ruben, see what they got to say.
Yeah, Aaron and Ruben, see what they have to say about swimming and talking to the youth. We're all about youth sports here. WZTO Sports live at the ranch. We'll be back in a few minutes. Peace. Welcome back to the Ranch Live Sports Talk Radio, WZTO, zero time off. And we're back today. I have Stephen Williams and his two sons. Introduce yourself, young man.
Hi, my name is Adam Williams, and I'm from Williamstown, New Jersey. My name is Ruben Williams, and I'm also from Williamstown.
Now, you guys, from and talking with your dad and following on social media, are two tremendous young swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your dad was like a rock. I don't know where y'all must get that from your mom, because we didn't have any access to pools.
We had Leak Island.
Leak Island, yeah, we had Leak
No.
Island, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Get
We
in.
if you get there, yeah, if you get there, ride your bike over there. Yeah, definitely. We had one pool at a church for a little minute that lasted for about a
Not
year.
long.
Not long, but very interesting. Because swimming is a sport that usually we don't see a lot of African Americans in the Olympics or whatever. So, you guys can go. I just want to, what drew you guys to swimming and got you interested in swimming?
Well, first my mom introduced me to the sport as a whole. She came home and said maybe you guys should try for the swim team, because she was a occupational therapist, and she met with the coach. She helped him out with his arms because he went through a stroke or something.
Okay.
And then he saw that she had really long arms, so she asked, do you have any sons or daughters? And then he said, yeah, they should try for the swim team. And then my mom came home and said, maybe you guys should, and then that's how it really started.
Yeah, and that's how you got involved also?
Yeah, and then we went to the Y, and then we tried out, and we were pretty good at swimming, and then it just took off from there.
So, what swimming events do you guys do?
I do the 100 butterfly. That's probably my favorite event. I do the 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, and the 200 butterfly, and the 200 IM. I do all those events too, but my favorite is the 50 freestyle because it's a fast event, and you just give it your all for 50 meters.
Okay, in media, the whole thing is just we need controversy. So, who's the better swimmer?
I'm the better swimmer.
You sure about that? You want to co-sign that he's the better swimmer?
No.
So, Dad, Steve, swimming.
Yes.
because usually you get kids, they follow in your footsteps. Sports we kind of know we're experts in. Did you know a lot about swimming, or what needed to the whole concept of swimming?
I knew nothing about swimming, but after they started swimming, I became an expert. I actually I they make fun. I shouldn't say this on air, but I joined the coaches blog. They think I'm a coach. I made up a team and everything, so I was getting tips. And what I've learned is that it can be an expensive sport.
Okay.
And like you were saying, having access to the pools is a big thing, because getting pool time is what makes the difference. Training and pool time, and that's the dilemma that we're in, because it takes a lot of time to get into the pool, and you have to have access to the pool. And me and wifey, we work a lot. Getting them to the pool at this stage is hard, because there's kids that are in the pool all the time, year round, 6 days a week, and they're starting to see that separation from those kids and them. They're holding their own. We're hoping to get that this year. We'll do more of the year round, and they'll make a lot of noise this coming season.
Now, you guys have any other interests other than swimming in the sports?
Yeah, I play lacrosse, and I like playing basketball as a hobby.
Oh, okay, playing basketball.
Yeah, I just started playing basketball for the town this spring.
Okay, now they mentioned somebody was interested in football.
Yeah, I wanted to play football this fall, because I really never played it before, and it's just something that I wanted to do, because I wanted just to feel the experience and just try something new.
How did your mom co-sign that, or?
Not really. She really wasn't that happy or enthusiastic about it.
Oh, no, look, that's mom, so that's her role. The mom's going to protect you. That's what they do.
Sonny, I figured he should get a shot at it, because the way he was playing lacrosse the last season, he was playing like Jim Brown. He was just running people over.
Yeah. So and I think there's a little stigma to football right now. I think with the CTE and stuff like that, and Coach Charles, who I've had on several times, like they're doing a lot of things with tackling and using like rugby kind of tackling and stuff like that, trying to get the hit out the way and make plays. It's interesting. When me and your dad came up, it was football. That was whether we were playing it organized, whether we were playing rough and fumble with a sock, or whether we were playing pick up in the street. The options of what athletic opportunities we have and different
Slim and
none. Like we're gonna play ball. That's somebody, at least somebody in there could buy one football and then be
or one basketball.
We can play. That's that's what we needed. But it's really tremendous to see you guys, being able to branch out and do different sports, because that's what it's all about. Growing and development and different things. So, do you guys think you want to swim in college, school, or is that the goal, the plan?
Yeah, I feel like that if I keep working hard and keep doing what I'm doing, or do something more, that I think I can get a scholarship to college, and that's pretty much my goal.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As long as I want to keep my grades up and do really good in swimming, so I can get a scholarship and go to a college.
Scholarship and go to college. Now, what do you find? And I was interested to ask you guys, because when you're swimming, even you may have to do a relay or be a part of a team, but you guys are individual swimmers. Me and your father played football together, team sport. Mm-hmm. So all the time in the athletic arena, between the lines, we were with somebody. Like we could look at each other like, "Are you all right, man?" Like, yeah, we are always together. Like, it's strength in numbers. So it's always interesting. How do you when you're in the pool and you're swimming and you're getting ready to swim and you're actually competing? What does it feel like? Do you hear anything? Do you hear the crowd? Do you hear your dad yelling for you? Do you hear, like, when you're in the water? Like, how is it when you're, like, swimming?
Well, when you're in the water, like, when you come up for a breath, you can hear everybody shouting. But then as soon as you get under the water, it's very quiet. You can barely hear anything. And then you come up, and then it's really loud, and then it's kind of funny, because you can hear everybody scream. Like, sometimes I hear my dad, sometimes I hear my coach. And then when you come back under, you can't hear anything. So it's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. And then the other cool part is when you do your flip turn, and then you look around and see all your competition and see if you're, like, neck and neck with them or if you're ahead. Yeah. That's the cool part.
And it's the focus part. Like, because when you're swimming and you see somebody's ahead of you, and you made your pace, or I think swimming is very rhythmic. like I can swim, but I'm not a swimmer. Like
You're not gonna drown.
Yeah, I can give an A life. Like if like the A team Coast Guard is there, I'm good. Now if the B team Coast Guard is there, it's still a little shaky. It's still a little shaky. So when you but there's like and you're swimming, do you feel yourself? Do you press? Do you like? Oh man, I gotta hurry up and speed up. Like to get your adrenaline going. Like if you do that flip and you see you're behind, you still gotta like look. I know what I'm doing. I got my pace, and I'll eventually. Do you get hurried up, or you just try to keep your same stroke, your rhythm?
I'll go. Usually depends like what type of race it is. If it's a longer race and it's in the very beginning, usually if somebody's ahead, it's really not that big of a deal because it's like a longer distance.
Yeah.
But if it's a 50 or 100, usually you want to keep that same pace. Like whoever's in front is not all the time gonna win, but they usually gonna win. But in the 50s, it's pretty much
a sprint.
Yeah, give it your all.
Just go all out. This fast. Now, do you guys learned how to swim at a very young age, or did?
Yeah, we learned how to swim when we like a year after we moved to our house because we were excited that we had a pool, and our parents always told us never to go to the deep end. But one day we just jumped in the deep end and started swimming.
Yeah, I mean that's a heritage. My mom said, I don't want you to go anywhere around water till you learn how to swim. I'm like, well, I can't swim unless I get around water. But
you got to figure out which one you're gonna do first.
Yeah, first, and that's classic. That's definitely how it goes.
Oh, it's interesting. You say that, but my oldest son learned how to swim when we lived in Harlem because they have a great swim program in Harlem at the Y.
Okay,
and
that's where I learned to swim at the Chester Y.
Yeah,
Shout out Chester.
So that's one of the things that the Y is always is the cheapest and the easiest access to get into the swimming, and they have decent training for the kids, and they had the different programs. So my oldest son was a water baby, so that just naturally just drug them into it, once they were born.
Yeah, and I think it's and swimming is very something you can do all your life, and it's not stressful on your joints. It's very good exercise, cardiovascularly and it's training and swimming, and it's not really hard like on your joints and stuff like that. Running, it says it's very good for you. There's a Delaware Swim Club is down here. I'm a member of the gym that I don't get to the pool much. Like I said, I can swim, but I'm not a swimmer, and it's always interesting to see, as we go in different directions. Very proud of you guys. Like you're doing swimming and things like that, and the conversations that we have, like with your father, whatever. That was the whole thing. Like you always want to see your kids go and do different things, different than you, and get more opportunities and get more exposure to the things that that we didn't have exposure to growing up.
I don't know what I would have did. I probably would have played for you.
Yeah. It's the cult. I mean, and also. It's very cultural because, like I said, I took piano lessons, but there's not a lot of musicians in the neighborhood, and I wanted to be the township tailback. I wanted the 22 quick pitch. I wanted the guy who they were pitching the ball back to. Student body left, student body right for Darby Twip for the high school.
Exactly.
So the culture of competing and things like that, and very competitive. But definitely, you played dabbed in the music a little bit. But, moving forward, it's just tremendous. So, when do you guys start back up in competition again?
Well, right now we're in summer swim, but summer swim is a lot more laid back. It's pretty much just not to lose all your skills that you learn and stuff. It's just like, So then, and we start back up in November, October-ish, back summer swimming in clinics and stuff, and then we start competing around December.
Oh, December. Okay, definitely.
And then states come, like the really big meets come later in the year and like early spring, where you work throughout the year, and then in those meets it shows like what you really made out of if you worked hard throughout the year.
Now, you guys in high school?
We're just going into 9th grade.
You go freshman, so you starting your freshman year of high school. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
We looking to wreck a couple schools. We tried to get some scholarship money. They didn't want to give it, so they're gonna have to see the twins.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, motivation. Definitely doing well. Definitely, but yeah, definitely. I just want to congratulate you guys. Keep up the good work. And the part about the academics. I know your dad, your mom's on you guys about that. That's the key, and being able to get somebody to take care of that education money for you is very key. Doesn't it'll make you go a long way. I paid back enough loans in my life, but definitely, it's a great thing. And the competitive piece and the sports part, I think it'll always help you in life moving forward. Just I played in high school, dad played in college, but teamwork and working together and the discipline you get. The discipline you get from athletics is what you really need and helps you later in life as you get older. Because everybody, even the crew over there, back there, we really don't feel like getting up and going to work a lot of times. But you got to get up and go to work. It's the discipline.
Yeah.
You can be disciplined in diet, discipline in the things you may need to do in life, whatever you need to do. Your training and your commitment to your athletics will give you some insight to the discipline you need, and it's very beneficial. Definitely. But I just want to thank you guys for coming on, and we'll be following you on WZTO, the Ranch Sports, Zero Time Off. We got the wing boys over there. There's no wings, but there's some food upstairs. There's some hot sausages. There's some pulled meat up there. Some like brisket meat up there. Definitely. And get down with that. A little bit later, we'll be doing a little thing. Birthday on Monday.
Yeah, so we definitely got to have libations before we go to celebrate my brother's 51st birthday.
Steve knew damn well I'm 49. You're 49, man. 49.
Yeah.
You're
looking right at it, man.
I know, he trips around there just like we was in Miss Smith's class, just in second grade.
Yeah, when I got the cookies.
The whole 9 yards.
That's another story.
That's another time. Yeah, that's another time. Your dad was a tremendous class. He was a role model. He was a beacon of discipline and just one of those all around good guys. We called him Teacher's Pet. He was such a good student, and the teachers loved him at the school and everything like that. But definitely. But hey, everybody, enjoy your weekend. We're gonna sign off here. I'm gonna start my little birthday celebration out there. It's cancer season, and like I say, nobody has ever treated you better than a cancer, and that's straight up the facts. And once again, thank you guys, and I'll have you guys on again. Come in, talk about how you're progressing in the season. This is your beacon, social media. Feel free, YouTube. This will be on Facebook Live, everything like that. Moving forward, did a tremendous job. So we're out of here. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week live from the ranch. WZTO, Zero Time Off. Peace.